It's a bird, it's a plane. It's a new episode of Secret Identity. True believers, what up? What up, brother? I'm Hulk Hogan, except this one's not racist. Brother, thank you for tuning in to Secret Identity. It's a bird, it's a plane. It's Troy Bond, co-hosted by and co-created by the amazing hairline Brent Birnbaum.
What up?
And who's that giggling? It's not Lois Lane. It's your mama's podcast, Slater Harrison.
Hello.
Now, to our truest of believers that have been with Brent and I since our very sweaty first episode, when Craven was on his last hunt.
I was schwitzing. It's fine.
He was schwitzing. It's another Jewish word that I believe is made up. But we are going into our next phase of this relationship, which is interactions with our true believers. And you're gonna start to see an extension of the episodes. Through YouTube, what is it? YouTube.
YouTube membership.
Through the YouTube membership. What are they going to get, Brent?
So what they're going to get from us is you'll see the YouTube membership. Normally, you just see the subscribe button, which you should all be subscribed to. You will see a join button next to us. So for $3.99 a month, that's $3.99 a month.
The price of a comic book in the 70s.
Less than a slice of pizza in New York City.
Fucking New York.
If you get a slice of pizza in New York, this is going to be less than that.
Yeah. That April O'Neil will be there to make sure.
She'll be there.
You will get
She might even show a titty.
With one arm?
Yeah. You just need one arm to
She's
lift
a
it.
goddamn
That's
hero.
why she shows one tit.
Yeah, she's a righty. We're never going to see
She can
the left
clothesline her
tit.
shirt and lift it out, but it's going to suffocate her a little bit.
You're
But
gonna
for
see
the
her-
price of $3.99, what are they getting out of it?
$3.99, you're going to get a bonus episode every week. So everyone will still get our standard book review episodes that we'll be doing. But for the truest of believers who subscribe to our paid membership, we will be doing a viewer mail episode every week. So you will not get one, you will get 2 episodes.
And for more information how to subscribe and tag along and be a part of the true believer, everybody listening right now is a true believer, but the truest believers will get the extra interactive bit of the show that we've been craving to do for so long, and we're finally
Craven.
I've been craving it. And a grandma ain't hitting that, but it's hitting this.
Oh, no doubt. And our tier
No
is,
doubt, Granny. Get your cookies.
no doubt. Our tier is called the Kirby tier.
The Kirby tier, baby.
Ooh, Katie.
Kurtzberg tier.
The Kurtzberg, and we don't like to leave anyone else.
20 for me and Troy, 80 for Slater.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're aching for some more interactive Secret Identity, the Kirby tier is going to be the one for you. But we're not of exclusatory standards here. Everybody's welcome. This is just a little bit more that you get, and as a preview for it, as we've done in the past, viewer mail, you get a little more like that. And so today you get 2 episodes. We get the Doctor Doom episode, and we're getting viewer mail number 3. Right? This
Number
is 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Number 9.
we took the social media, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Secret Identity Pod, and we asked the true believers to ask us any questions, comments, or concerns you have in the world of comic books. And to start us off, why don't we go to our first question,
Let's
Mr.
do it.
Birnbaum?
Question 1.
Okay, so
Has Brent ever had sex?
Let me answer that.
From my mom.
Yeah, Jesus.
Come on.
Yeah, it was. that was from Tori.
Oh, Mrs. Birnbaum. She knows you too well. She just puts,
Is
that's
Brent
adorable.
gay and how gay?
Travolta.
Yeah.
These are the questions people ask you?
No.
Okay, what's our first question
the
we
first
got from the true believers?
How do you feel about the rumored plans for SpiderMan, and what would you want to see from a street-level Spidey film?
Well, what are the rumored plans for Spider-Man that
I
you could break
think
down?
the rumored plans is that it's going to go multiverse again, and I think they're going to bring in the symbiote, I believe, and they're going to try to do some Venom stuff. Maybe we'll see Null. How do I feel about that?
Would you rather the street level?
I want to see the street level, of course. We just
Yeah.
got a great Spidey multiverse film.
We got probably the best multiverse film to end multiverse films.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, I love Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was probably the most beautiful of
We've said
multiverse
before,
films.
that movie is so overhated.
It's so
No,
overhated.
that's good.
And
Benedict is this fucking shit.
Seriously.
Benedict's
I love him.
Cabbage Patch
He
is one of the best.
Yeah, he always comes out of retirement for something. He's like, all right, I'm gone. All right, I'm back. It's like Brett Favre.
I think
Favre.
yeah.
Favre.
Favre.
I have a pretty good prediction of what's going to happen is these next 3 movies are going to be He's probably going to not take the symbiote off until the third movie. And that's where we get an intro of Miles Morales, and we'll get to see Tom Holland fade out as Miles Morales fades in.
Who's going to be him? Do we know?
Lucas from Stranger Things.
Oh, really?
That's what I think.
I think he's too old now.
Probably when the time comes. We don't even know who's going to play Miles
exactly.
yet.
Like 10 years ago, he would have been perfect. Now he's going to be like 30 when the movie comes out.
Very true. Very
he
true.
might age backwards. We don't know. He might do fine.
What would be the benefit of doing a street level story rather than a Black Spider-Man symbiote story? Why would you rather see the street level story versus another multiverse story?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the symbiote is fun, and there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. But we already got the Venom movies, which we've said before that we like a lot.
Yep.
And Venom! But also, you want to see something different. And one of the coolest things about Spidey is that he's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's the decision he made at the end of the third one, that I'm going to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It gives, there's such an opening to have Daredevil, who's his best friend in the superhero world. They can team up and go against Wilson Fisk, who is one of low-key the best Spider-Man villains out there.
Loki.
Who's one of Thor's villains?
God, I have a problem.
Loki, I'm tweaking. I'm tweaking.
I'm tweaking, Jeremy.
It's just coming out of me like lava.
But yeah, it's I think he would be, people forget because he's like the #1 Daredevil villain, but he's an amazing Spidey villain too.
Look no further than the first Spider-Man PS4 game, you know, like where you're like, oh yeah, I forgot he's such a good Daredevil, or such a good Spider-Man villain. He's even the villain pretty early on in that 90s show.
He's like the main villain.
Yeah, where he's like,
Norman
yes, I
works
still
for
want
him.
that gas.
Yeah. Give me the gasoline.
Give me the gas, Spider-Man.
It's not always about the money, Spider-Man.
It's about the Rogaine.
It's about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets.
Love the Mets. Love Mike Piazza. Can't stand anybody that goes against Piazza.
Can't stand you.
Can't stand you.
Catching the balls.
What do you feel about? Would you rather see Spider-Man go into the streets or into space?
I think the streets.
Straights.
Selling crack.
Yeah, I want him all up in them streets.
The guy who killed
and
Uncle
I want
Ben.
him being a freak
Dennis
in the
Farina.
streets, and then I want him back in the streets, and I want him just mix
Just
them
have him
both.
on the subway selling food for his high school basketball team.
I'm selling empanadas.
dude, the candy bars. Yes, I can see that. I can see that.
Dude, you guys ever see when Eric Andre did that with lo mein? He was like, he was just at a Chinese food cart with lo mein.
That's epic.
He
Dude.
goes, I'm selling lo mein for my basketball team.
I'm surprised it wasn't just in his pockets.
Someone just like punched him in the face.
Ranch up. I'll drink to that, bro.
Yeah, baby.
Do you prefer a realistic take on Batman or a more comic book style version? It feels like since my whole life, every single time they talk about Batman movies in the pitch meeting, they're like, let's do this, but darker.
Right.
You know, I don't know what would you say is the difference between a realistic take on Batman or a comic book style version? I guess realistic take now would be like Pattinson, and comic version would be juxtaposed to what Brave and Bold, 60s bat shark repellent.
Anything with the Justice League.
Yeah, we don't. I would love. It's hard to say because like you look at the Nolan movies, and that's sort of a combination of both. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think the Nolan movies were pretty realistic. Until the Pattinson movies came along, because like I don't think you would ever see Ra's al Ghul in the Pattinson movies,
and you wouldn't see him in the third one.
No, yes,
where it's very death can come in many forms.
What would you rate like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man as? I feel like it's a mix of both.
That's a good point.
You know?
I think if anything, that's the least realistic, just because of the shooting the web out.
The organic webs.
Yeah, but like it's still like based more in a day-to-day reality kind of vibe. No.
Well, I think that's also the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man aspect.
Yeah,
like where
that's
it's like
true. It's a different tone, I suppose.
Yeah, and so like when Batman's with Superman, inevitably it's going to be heightened and be less realistic, and also. Not grounded couldn't mean the Adam West cartoons.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
All takes are great. I love the Adam West cartoon. I love him as part of the Justice League on the animated series when he's going up against Darkseid. And I love the grounded takes. I mean, like, people like, I love the Batman movie, and some people are like, oh, it's a little too dark, too grounded. Are you watching Penguin? Dude, Penguin's amazing.
Oh,
holy shit.
I'm like one episode.
So
I think I'm 2 episodes behind. I think I just finished episode 6. Is that the one
That's the
where
most
she
recent
goes?
No,
the
we
one where they
finished-
tell you what Oz did to Sophia. then.
The Sophia, that's 4.
That, we
That's
gotta
4,
take
okay.
a break.
Bro.
Yeah, I was like, yo, this is intense.
Bro.
Just when you thought it was like done, it got
They
worse.
pull you
Pull it
back.
back in.
I was
You
like,
got a
yo,
great plot, and you got your hair all the way over there.
dude. That's hell.
Dude.
That's hell.
Oh,
Well,
my-
that's a greght take on like a realistic version of Batman, right? Where like
Yes, very.
that show is so great to
So
the point
good.
where they don't even have to. And then like they're doing the whole like Matt Reeves says that Batman will not appear in Penguin. I really for the first couple episodes I was like he's going to show up in the last episode. Then I was like no, he's not going to
he
show
doesn't-
up.
think
He
they've
doesn't
mentioned
need
him.
to.
No, they've said Bagman.
Yeah, and they said Riddler.
They said
Yeah.
Riddler, never once said Batman.
Yeah.
And I
They
think
said
that speaks to like, that's the realistic part of Gotham. It almost like Matt Reeves is creating his own universe in this Elseworlds thing and it may collide. And I think it would really add a lot of groundedness to the new DCU if they collided that Batman Elseworlds with Superman and Corn Sweet, and it'd be really cool to see a combination of the two styles meld into one because at the end of the day, it's all fake. And I think why people love movies like The Dark Knight versus movies like The Batman is The Dark Knight has its rewatchability. I'd rather watch that 100 times than watch The Batman 3 times, but I still think The Batman is a better movie and the best Batman movie. Combining those two elements of completely you look at a guy like the Joker in The Dark Knight where he's got the scars and he's always lying and there's that level of fantasy and element to it. The Batman and the Matt Reeves verse starts at the gritty level. Like you immediately believe you can easily be watching a show like The Sopranos or Law and Order SVU
Seriously.
and these shows
Kristen Milioti got her start on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
as Johnny Sack's
Well,
daughter.
that's- Yeah.
Jesus, does
so
anybody in this family
crazy.
talk about anything other than food?
Dude, I'm in love with her. Oh my God, she's
She's
so
Crazy name to
beautiful.
spell Kristen.
I know it is.
Crazy way to spell Kristen.
Also, complete departure from the comics, but it works. Like
For
does
Sophia, I
work
remember
out.
we
For
were
Sophia,
talking
for
about this, and you were
Alberto.
like, Sophia Gigante is going to be in. I'm like, are they going to go with like Long Halloween?
Yeah.
And even, what's his name? Doug Stanford's Johnny Vitti, who was also in The Sopranos.
Of course, that guy's great.
He's
Michael
so
Kelly.
good. Yeah.
That's right. He was
He was the FBI
guy.
agent. He was like, your daughter ever used the tunnels?
Yeah.
She goes to Columbia, right?
Yeah.
Right, where are you? And I love just being able to. I think it makes it more palatable for mainstream audiences. A show like The Batman because there's people who don't even watch that stuff who are like, The Penguin is the best show on TV right now.
It actually is the best show
It's
on
the
TV
best
right
show.
now.
So
Like,
good. I was just telling him, like, I was with my girlfriends who are not into any like comic stuff at all, and they were all watching The Penguin. They're like, it's so good. It's like The Sopranos, but like superhero shit, but like not at all. And
Yeah.
I was like, dude, yeah, like so it's reaching so many more people, and it is very. I mean, it's a fucking mafia. So
That's exactly. It's a great crime. So that's what I tell people when they're like, "Oh, I don't like superhero stuff." It's like, no, you don't like.
You
the
don't
MCU.
have to know.
You don't. Yeah, you don't like the MCU, and that's okay. You don't have to like the MCU, but watch Peacemaker.
What?
Yeah.
Right. Well, why would you?
Well, that's
what's
like
the
Joker too, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
Ah,
a lot
Joker too.
Well, Joker won though, but like everyone kind of hopped onto that train. That's not really versed in this normally, so it's
what's the MCU aspect that you compare it to? Because it's not connecting, or you don't like the whole connecting universes thing and have to watch one thing to get the next thing to get the next thing?
Yeah, well, I think again, I love the MCU, but I think it's so unapologetically comic booky. Like it's just like if you're not following, then fuck you,
Fuck you.
fuck you, okay?
Fuck you.
fuck you. That's it's okay. All my movies are connected, all right. But
just look at the 10 toes.
just look at the 10
and you'll follow the trail.
Fuck you. I
Fuck
stole this
you.
from Korea. Fuck you.
I hate socks.
from Korea. I love going to those. I love getting pedicures.
I love it. Fuck you. I'm going to Thailand next.
Fuck you.
Bangkok.
But Bangkok. But honestly, one thing that DC frankly does much better than Marvel is the usage of Elseworlds, which we've talked about.
Yes.
Because Battinson's an Elseworld, because Joker 2's an Elseworld. God, I would love to see Craven's Last Hunt.
Wouldn't you also just love to see an animated show that exists in this universe that doesn't have to connect to everything else? That's what seems the Marvel
That's
problem.
not
Like
97, I
standing
get.
on its own.
Next
you mean?
night, well, for now,
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
may have been
But
the
they fired the
yeah,
creator.
can stand on its own. Yeah, like X-Men '97 came out and they did, and that was a continuation of the cartoon show, and it didn't connect to anything in the MCU. And I feel like that was their first sort of test to see if can we do this, and the answer is always yes, because especially you take a title.
Do it.
You take a title like Spider-Man or Batman, there's always good. I mean, just look no further than the Penguin. It's like what we said about the Joker. These two shows and these two different projects have shown us that you can dive deep into a universe without showing the titular character responsible for being this guy's foil, without it being something that connects to an overarching theme.
Right. I agree.
For that reason,
I'm out.
did you find your question?
Yeah, that was a
Yes.
great question.
Yeah,
That's a
I
great
did.
question.
That
Shout
was-
out Diego.
That was really good. Out of all the comics / stories you've reviewed, which most deserves a movie adaptation?
Craven.
Craven.
Yes.
Wow,
Craven.
that was
Yeah,
fucking
it's-
at the buzzer.
I was
Brent.
thinking. I was
You
thinking
were
about.
sitting on
Well, it's
that.
because I would have said Last Ronin, but they're adapting it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
kind of a shame that we're not getting like this Aaron Taylor Johnson Craven movie could easily just be Craven's last hunt. That you don't really need a Spider-Man for, honestly. Like you can, if they're able to get like Spider-Foe in Madam Web, they can have a guy in the black, because Spider-Man's not really important in Craven's last hunt.
But I want to see it. I want to see, and I want to see the Andrew Spidey because I think he could do it the best. But I agree, Craven is the main character of Craven's Last Hunt.
Yeah, and like to the everything that they're trying to show in his origin story from this trailer, from what I've seen, I don't know. This movie could come out and I could have a Venom effect of it. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're teeing up for these trilogy
There's
of
always
movies.
something brewing. Like,
Yeah, but in the Sony's case, it's that they have to make a Spider-Man movie every year so they don't lose the license, and that's why we get dog shit like Madam
really?
Web. Yeah,
I didn't know there were like strings attached, webs attached.
So when,
Nice.
I didn't know.
Kevin Feige went to Sony but before we got Tom Holland Civil War Spider-Man, after the Amazing Spider-Man 2, he went to Amy Pascal and was like, "Hey, instead of having these half-ass movies that kind of flop, why don't you just let us borrow the toys? You will finance it and we'll split the profits." And then Sony went with that deal for a while up until the second Spider-Man movie where he gets docs at the end, and then they pulled him out of the MCU and they said, "Nope, this is ours now."
Yeah.
And then for 3 months we didn't know what was going on, and it was like a whole like, are we really not going to get a third follow-up to this movie? And then they
gave us the most Spider-Man movie.
into the Spider-Verse, right?
Well, no Way Home.
Oh, No Way
I mean,
Home. Yeah,
that's-
the most
yeah.
Spider-Man in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a record.
Yeah.
That
They're
was
like,
so good.
you want another Spider-Man movie? We're going to give you the most
I'm
Spider-Man.
gonna give you all of them in once, and Andrew
like
Garfield
so
is gonna
much
lie to
movie.
you for years and tell you he's not in it.
Poor guy. He was just doing press for Tick Tick Boom, and everyone kept asking him.
Oh my
It's like, so I know your
gosh.
mother just died. What's gonna happen in Spider-Man?
That's right. His mom
But
had
more
died.
importantly, yeah, that's fucked
Yeah,
up.
and that's
Oh.
and that's what I think is a testament to Andrew Garfield's love for the character. Like most people would
Yeah.
get that and be like, I don't want to be anywhere near this. He still ran in and was arguably
He crushed it.
He was
crushed
best
it,
part of
the
that
best
movie.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it, but I was
not-
like, he was the
Oh,
best
he did
part.
great.
I'm not coming back for 30% of the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I'm
coming
coming back
for
all of
everything.
Yo, so yours would be Craven.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
Or
mine-
Mr. Miracle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
you bitch.
yeah.
Oh, was that gonna be yours? Oh, I'm
really?
sorry.
Damn it!
No.
Cut it! Cut that!
Well, I honestly would love to see a Justice League Unlimited live action Justice League type
That'd be cool,
show.
too.
You know, like finally get that. Not, I mean, I would in my top 5 DC movies of all time. I'd put Zack Snyder's Justice League in the top 5.
The uncut one.
The uncut one. But like the uncircumcised.
Excuse me. Did somebody call for a moil?
Make like a moil. Finish his bris. I would love to.
Finish your breakfast.
I would love to see a version of the Justice League, and it's so hard to do. But like, I would love to see Justice League just existing like that. First 2 seasons of Justice League plus all of Justice League Unlimited. I guess Justice League Unlimited sort of gets rid of the origin stuff and it lets them exist who they are. Maybe season 2 of Justice League till the end of Justice League Unlimited. I would love to see that. And I don't even really need a buildup of how many movies did they have before the first Avengers movie? They had one Iron Man,
5-ish?
Yeah, 2 Iron Man.
Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America. Oh, yeah, just 4.
4.
Oh, no, Incredible Hulk.
and 5. Yeah, it's 5. But still, like, even the Incredible Hulk wasn't the same as the Hulk in Avengers. And
Yeah.
we still, like, you could almost start the MCU with the first Avengers movie because not much connects prior to that I'm thinking that.
I would love that, man. That's gonna. I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking
What-
about a live action Justice
They're
League.
both
Unlimited.
I mean, like, we're probably 10 years from that happening and everybody wants to rush into Kingdom
I got
Come.
goosebumps down here.
I mean, well, honestly, maybe that'll be my other answer. Kingdom Come, I would love to see, but like that's
Oh,
something they
baby.
can't rush like a Civil War or a Secret War. Like
Yeah,
that's
I feel
got to
like
be.
That has to be in delicate
That one I think we
hands,
will see.
too.
I think
We will see that probably 10, 15 years down the line if
Totally.
everything
We'll
goes
be at
well
the
with
movies in
Superman.
our rocking chairs. Fuck yeah,
Oh, yeah, fuck you.
we did it.
This is great.
We can smoke in theaters
Half day
again.
for Stan.
Half day for Stan. What about
20?
What about you, Slady?
I think I was gonna say Doom. Doom. Just because, like, I loved his origin story so much, and again, I wasn't familiar with his background prior.
He
to it.
was hot.
And I was like, damn, like, and I
Sorry.
could, no, you're good. I could see it being a movie as I was reading it. I was kind of playing it in my head that way, like scene by scene, and just like the growing angst, and then the love shit, and
You see why he's considered the greatest Marvel villain. because there's just so much pathos there.
Yeah. No, and no one's really. That's why I'm really interested to see what Robert Downey Jr. does with his character. How much like airtime he's gonna get. You know what I mean?
I think
like,
it's all more than likely, like we said on that Doom episode, we'll get him as Doom, and then there'll be so much hype around the character that when they reset the clock, we'll get the Doom show for that'll be the Books of Doom 6-episode series to give you his origin with the new guy playing Doom, and then boom, drop him in the Fantastic Four too.
Yeah, it's like a litmus test kind of to see how he does what the poll is, right? I mean, so far, just the announcement was overwhelmingly positive. So I think
they didn't say he was the Doctor Doom. They just said he was playing Doom.
They didn't say he's Victor. They just said Doctor Doom.
He's playing Doctor Doom, and that could be Tony Stark who just goes doom 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 doom.
Invincible Iron Man or a superior
Iron Man, Invincible, and it would be cool to see. But I agree with you. Like I think on our first view mail, you said like Doom, I think deserves the best Disney Plus show more than anything else.
Yeah,
good memory. That's true. Because that was a clip. Yeah, you said which villain deserves his own movie. Immediately we say Doom.
Oh my gosh! Wow,
full circle.
That.
Yeah. I agree though. I think that's a great take, and I think a adaptation of that Doom series would be amazing because I think Ed Brubaker is such an incredible writer. Because Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU film because it's based off an Ed Brubaker story. When the stories are great, when the source material is great, movies are awesome.
I feel like there's so many arcs too. It might be like better as a series to play off.
Totally.
I think you just have to show the level of narcissism, badassery, and insecurity that is Doom. Like you could have him be the guy he was in Oppenheimer as Doom. Be like, you think for a second Reed Richards would ever give up his powers that he got in the accident? No, I don't think so. Okay, all right. If he could do it all again, he would do the same thing he did the first time.
Fucking Academy, man.
I know, dude.
Bullshit.
Oh, who got it instead of him?
No, he got it, but he should have gotten it for Tony, not for that stupid role.
Yeah, you were pissed about that last time. You're still upset.
I thought he was good in the role, but I thought it was a completely. You could have done Oppenheimer and completely erased that arc, and it would have been the same movie.
It just didn't. The back and forth of Oppenheimer were included just so RDJ would get his Oscar.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a weird one for him.
Because that was the black and white scenes, right? And then Oppenheimer was color.
Yeah.
The black and white scenes were happening now, but the color scenes were happening back then.
And then what the hell did he say to Albert Einstein?
Then what's this? This is now.
Wait, what? When did it happen? We just missed it.
There it goes.
Just now.
Whose next question is it? Yours?
Mine.
It's yours. Yeah. But I love me some RDJ, and I don't know why. Well, I know why the Academy won't recognize comic book films because Martin Scorsese is the Academy.
Whatever he says, he's gozy.
Oh, this is a good one. Are you excited about the Lantern Show expectations? Fuck yeah, I'm excited.
Is that the Jon Stewart one? It's centered around Jon Stewart?
Do you know why I'm excited? Because again, when you put talented people behind the scenes, shit's gonna be good. The people that are working on the pilot, Damon Lindelof, who did the Watchmen show.
On HBO.
And Tom King, who did Mr. Miracle.
That's who's doing the Green Lantern
doing the Lantern Show.
Oh, well, then I'm more than excited
this
now.
It's going to be amazing.
I was already down that we were going to get our first Jewish Green Lantern, Jon Stewart, played by a black man.
Save Jon Stewart. He's our most important Green Lantern.
Darkest day and brightest night. Oh, it's so bright. And the nighttime, then an eclipse happened. I'm more than hyped now. Now that I know that
Kyle Chandler. Kyle Chandler's playing.
I did. Yeah,
Kyle. Cross your legs.
What's he been in?
Dude, he's Coach Taylor on Friday Night Lights. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
Oh my god!
Wow. He's Hal Jordan. I don't know the guy playing Jon Stewart, but I've heard he's good. And Nathan Fillion's going to be Guy Gardner. And I hate Guy Gardner, but I love Nathan Fillion.
Wow, strategic.
Mm-hmm.
Any with those three lanterns? Any theories?
I think Guy Gardner is going to be more just a side character. I think because he's being introduced in the Superman movie. What I've read is that it's going to be like a mentor-mentee kind of movie. So
it's going to mentor him.
Hal is going to mentor John, so it's going to be kind of like Men in Black.
Who does John get the ring from? Because doesn't somebody crash on the planet and then it finds John when he's an architect? And Neil Adams is who created Jon Stewart, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think it was Neil Adams, and he was like, they said that I could be totally wrong. I'm not sure. I think it was him, and then he was like, DC was like, why are you drawing these characters so dark at the time? Like characters weren't black; they were light brown, and he fully purposefully made him dark skin and was like, he's not going to be a gangbanger from the streets,
right? As
every black character was. It's either you're a gangbanger from the streets.
Was he the first black superhero?
I think
Was he before T'Challa?
that's what I was
I'm
trying to
curious
think. But
here.
like that was the thing. It was the juxtaposition was either you're royalty from Wakanda or you're a gangbanger. So he's like, let's make him college educated. He's an architect. Let's make him a vet. He's a Marine or
He
he's
was
in
a
the Air
Marine,
Force. Yeah. And what was the origin? I
I
jumped
honestly, that's on me. I don't really know John
Guys,
Stewart.
I got this. So it started.
Hal Jordan's origin was he was the pilot and he discovered the ring from Abin something, like the alien crashes and he gets the
That's
ring.
what I was confusing. About.
Yeah, and then you know who the original Green Lantern though was Alan Scott, which is he's not related to the Green Lantern Corps. He has like he's from the 40s. He actually has like a physical Green Lantern that I think is
Was that who's in Kingdom Come?
That's who's in Kingdom Come, who I was corrected on, and who created Alan Scott.
Jack Kirby.
No, but that's a great guess.
Bill Finger!
There you go! The fucking ghost lady!
Every time we're watching a Penguin episode and at the end it says Batman created by Bill Finger. I'm like, yeah! Bill fucking Finger!
Fucking finger! Not Bob Kane.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Favorite
DK,
comic
have it your way.
favorite comic book movie scene? I would have to go with the interrogation scene in The Dark Knight.
That's a great one.
Wow. Good.
It's hard to beat.
selection.
Yeah, that or if you want to go Marvel, I would say
I don't think there's a scene I quote more than that one.
I don't think there's a more
Yeah.
quotable scene, you know? Like I would say that or the fight in Endgame.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
the fight in Infinity War in Wakanda. Like it'd be really you'd be hard pressed to top those three. You want to go indie? I'd say the scene in Watchmen where Rorschach goes, "I'm not stuck here with you. You're stuck here
That was a
with
perfect
me."
adaptation of the comic.
Perfect adaptation of the comic, the best. And more recently, the scene in Suicide Squad when Peacemaker and Deadshot are going on the rooftops and they're killing
yeah.
the dudes on the thing.
Oh,
What was that?
the
Deadshot?
the Idris Elba one, Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, yeah. When they're going on the thing and they're it's like he does what I do except cooler.
Yeah.
It's like fuck.
And they end up killing all the...
They kill all their allies.
Exactly.
What does he
That
do?
was a great
He does
scene.
what I do except less cool or whatever. I was like, fuck, he's right.
I do it, yeah, I do it, yeah. Yeah, wait, he just
No one
does
likes to show off unless what he's
Except
showing off
that,
is dope as fuck. Fuck, he's right.
those are all great scenes. Mine, as a Jewish person, obviously, I have to go with this one. X-Men First Class. Magneto's in the bar, and he's with the number.
What'd he say? Give us the scene.
Oh my God, this scene.
He goes, what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning? Same thing that happens to
everything else. This is so in X-Men First Class. I don't. Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't think so.
It's a great movie. Highly recommend it. But so it's dealing with Magneto's origin.
That was Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender. He's tracking down
maybe I
Sebastian Shaw, who was going by a name Klaus Schmidt. He was a Nazi that experimented on him and killed his mom.
Yeah.
And so he goes to a bar in Argentina, because obviously, and and he sees Shaw's not there, but he sees a picture of Shaw there with two guys there. So he knows
One of them is Tony Hinchcliffe.
one of them is Tony Hinchcliffe. So he knows the two guys there are Nazis, and so he starts speaking. It's so good. He starts speaking Spanish to them.
That is, oh.
And then he switches to German, and they realize that he's German, and he's like, "What are you guys doing down here?" They're like, "Oh, we're here for the climate," and they're like, "We're from Dusseldorf," and he goes, "My parents are from Dusseldorf," and the Germans go, "Oh, what were their names?" He goes, "They didn't have the names," and he goes, "They were taken by tailors," which is one of them was a tailor, and pig farmers, another was a pig farmer,
shit.
and they start drinking beer, and he shows the number. And they get so nervous, one of them pulls out a knife on Magneto, so he stops them.
Which a guy named Magneto. I wouldn't want to pull a knife. Maybe a stick.
Not a good idea to do to a guy named Magneto.
Magnus.
Maybe do it to a Plastic Man instead.
Put one in Xavier's chair.
So he stabs one of them. Another guy tries to shoot him, but he controls the gun. So he has the guy.
They're like, more metal.
He has one guy shoot him, stabs the bartender, and then the last guy who he stabbed asks him, he goes, "What are you?" He goes, "I'm Frankenstein's monster, and I'm
Bitch.
looking for my creator," and he shoots him dead.
That's amazing.
Ooh, that's a great line. Oh,
Wow.
man.
I gotta watch that.
X-Men
So
First Class
good.
is probably the... Well, the follow-up to that, is that Days of Future Past?
Which is also great.
Those two are really just top-tier incredible movies. I don't know what happened to the third one, but like those two...
Age of Apocalypse.
Age of Apocalypse, and then
It
Dark
sounds
Phoenix.
It
I don't know how
reminds
they
me
made
of like Inglourious Bastards, like a scene from that when they're
Well,
like,
that was
Michael
Michael
Fassbender.
Fassbender.
oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
That's why I did this.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is the job in 3.
I didn't even realize what was happening as it was happening. That's wow. Okay.
And like his jump from Inglourious Bastards is what?
It was 2 years before.
That was
All the cast of his guys that to fight Nazis.
I mean, honestly, great typecast to be
Absolutely.
in, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to be the other one.
It worked out a lot
no.
better for him than in Inglourious Basterds, though.
Yeah.
He has a great line in that. He goes, "It's they say there's a special round in hell for people who waste good scotch." And he drinks the scotch. He goes, "Damn good stuff, sir," and then he gets killed.
Yep. That was tight.
What's your favorite comic book movie scene, Slater?
I mean,
Well, they haven't made Last Ronin yet, so they don't have any April O'Neil scenes.
Yeah,
That's true.
I was gonna say when she's in the diaper changing station,
At the airport?
one arming it, that opening.
What was the last comic book movie you saw?
I know. Well, it's
You watched
Deadpool
Watchmen with us.
Wolverine, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna fucking pick a scene from that.
Why?
The movie was awesome.
That's
My favorite scene was when Wade shut the door on Logan and you just see his eyes be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite scene
I
in
just
that
like
movie.
him going back to all the previous Wolverines and like getting killed again and again and again. And
That's a
again.
great, yeah.
Oh,
That's
that was
fucking
great.
epic. All
I
right,
liked
can that be my favorite sequence?
Of course, we'll count
I just
that.
didn't want to do a more recent one. I feel like that's
It
cheating.
was a
I
great.
wanted to do like a deep cut.
We've talked about how
and
we thought that was
cool.
one of the best multiverse movies.
That movie will hold up in time more than I think any more recent Marvel movie post Endgame to that point will.
In 2009, I said Dark Knight was my favorite comic book movie ever. Still say it.
Still holds up.
Yeah.
And if you want to see us read The Dark Knight, you should check us out at New York Comedy Festival, November 12th. Tickets in the description below.
Get your tickets now.
What's our next question?
Who would you cast as the question? And then it has in parentheses James McAvoy.
Adam Driver.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
I think,
Okay.
I think he's
explain.
got that weird arrogance and also awkwardness, but charisma that you need for the question.
I was just reading New 52 with him. I forgot who he's talking with, but they're in the car and she's smoking and he goes, "How many packs a day?" And then she had, I forget who the character was he was talking to, but she had a notebook on her dashboard and he went to go grab it and then she was like, "No, don't." And then he's looking at it and he goes, "Nice doodles." And she goes, "Bite me." And he goes, "Can't. No mouth." That's the question.
He's
You
such
know,
a
like
legend.
I can see Adam Driver doing that
Dude,
perfectly.
Yeah.
fucks the shit out of Huntress.
Yeah, that's what I like about him.
yeah.
Hunting that pussy.
That'd be good. What would you say? Yummy.
I would say Adam Driver, or if he wasn't already Moon Knight, Oscar Isaac.
Ooh, that'd be another great one.
He'd be really good. The question you have to think like
so good.
he's
He's so
he's like the
He's
Pacino of our
fucking-
time in many ways. You know.
Yeah. He's finally getting his acolyte.
What was that Coen Brothers movie he did?
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
What he did a Coen Brothers?
Llewyn Davis.
I didn't see
Inside
that.
Llewyn Davis?
No.
Oh yeah, he plays like a Bob Dylan type character. He's like a folk musician. So fucking good. Oh my, Adam Driver's in it.
I wanted Driver to be Doom with Cillian Murphy, but now I can't unsee him as the question. He'd honestly even be a good Magneto if they went young
Oh, he'd be a
Magneto,
great
like
Magneto.
if they went like James McAvoy age.
Yeah. I do want them to cast someone Jewish as Magneto though.
Who would you say would be good Magneto
As a Jewish actor?
right now? Yeah,
That's a good question.
Jerry
actually.
Seinfeld.
Of course, yeah.
What is the deal with all these magnets?
Why is everything sticking to me?
Why are we working so hard to find Charles?
Woody
All we need is a stick.
Woody
I'm
Allen.
in silverware.
There's so much metal here. As long as I can fuck my stepdaughter.
That guy a villain for real.
Oh God.
Supervillian.
Civilians. Who would you like as a faceless actor to play the question? Honestly, Keith David would be good.
Keith David would be cool.
Just gonna do
The
faceless.
voice. He spawned.
Yeah.
He's Spawn, yeah.
What's that guy's name? He played It, the clown.
Oh, Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah. Bill Skarsgård. Wow, that's a
Is
good one.
that-
Yeah.
is that him?
Yeah, Bill
Is that his
Skarsgård.
name?
Yeah.
I like him a
He's in
lot.
the MCU. He played the bad guy in Eternals, right?
Did he?
Yeah, he was the alien thing that they had.
Oh,
fight in
no,
the
I
third
thought that
act.
was Dan Stevens.
Was it?
Legion. You're right. I think it is Bill Skarsgård. I think they recast him. I think you are right.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was because he
Yeah.
was in Legion.
And he was also in Deadpool. He was
Yes.
Zeitgeist.
Yeah, and also they recast Falcone, right?
They did, yeah, because Turturro didn't want to play. He didn't like the violence towards women thing. So,
Didn't he choke out Zoe Kravitz in the Batman movie? That's what it was.
that's what he said.
But I'm not wrong in saying he choked out Zoe
course.
because we're watching that episode last night, and I go the episode where they tell you about Sophia.
Yeah. Dude, Mark Strong's a great actor
He's
too.
so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But like I was also like 10 minutes into the episode, I predicted pretty much how everything was gonna play. I was like, he killed her mother.
Oh yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
He killed her mother.
Are we gonna do Penguin on this?
We are. I think we should definitely do
we
Penguin.
have to.
Well, I think there's
It's too good to
4 more
not.
episodes
2 more
left?
episodes.
2 more?
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing 8?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
even better.
Oh.
We got so much Batman stuff coming up. White Knight.
White Knight is our next
The
episode.
Dark Knight live
and
reading.
Dark Knight
Yeah,
live
did they
reading.
fucking
And
plan that shit? It's like a Batman festival. I like it.
We're gonna throw some Iron Fist in there.
we got some Iron
Yeah,
Fist.
I love that fist.
Or next.
What characters from The Boys could beat their Marvel or DC counterparts? Example: Soulja Boy versus Cap.
Oh,
I love
Cap.
that
Yeah,
example.
no, Soulja Boy.
Really?
Soulja Boy's like Superman.
Do you think Soulja Boy could beat Cap?
Yeah, dude, anyone could beat Cap. Cap's.
I don't know, man. Cap had his arm dislocated out of the socket in Endgame and strapped that shit back up because he's just not getting down. I don't know if Soulja Boy has that.
I think if Cap has Thor's hammer, it's a different story. But Cap is just like he's just like a really athletic dude. Soulja Boy's got like Superman powers.
Good point. That's a good point. Well, it's the question. Whoever you want to win,
Yeah,
it depends on who the writer is.
Right. Like I think Homelander would beat Superman just because he's got that dog in him.
That's crazy that
Yeah.
you think that because that's wrong.
Well, you don't dude,
No, Homelander would never beat
they've
Superman.
got the same exact powers.
No, they do
Yeah,
not.
they do. He's Superman.
So, okay, Superman does what Homelander does, except much cooler.
Yeah, because he's not evil.
Well, Superman would wipe the floor with Homelander every single day.
Yeah, but Homelander is willing to kill. Superman isn't.
What you think Cavill Superman would foil against
That's not
Homelander?
the standard Superman. That was a stupid Zack Snyder Superman. I'm talking about the real Superman. I'm talking about
Who's the real Superman?
The real Superman is like
Would he
the
please stand up?
All-Star Superman.
Okay.
Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying he's not more powerful than Homelander. He probably is.
Okay, well, that's a good point
Yeah.
because that always gets lost in the conversation too. I would say he is.
Yeah,
I would say Superman is more powerful
I
than
think
Homelander.
Superman is more powerful than Homelander, but I think with the fact that Homelander is willing to kill,
And
it's
Superman's not.
Exactly.
That's
It's
a good point.
It's like
More
how in
potential.
Invincible, like how like Mark was losing that fight to one of those Viltrumites, even though Mark was stronger because Mark wasn't willing to kill.
But I also think of when I think Superman versus Homelander, I think of Mark when he's beating up Angstrom and he goes, "I thought you were stronger." That would be Superman. I feel like
You think against Homelander? Maybe.
if Homelander was at his evilest and if Superman was at his greatest, which I think Snyder sort of put him to the test at the end of Man of Steel, where yet like Superman had no other option other than to kill Zod because Zod wasn't going to stop, as evidenced by the Flash movie and what his crusade was. I also think that. Do I think a Christopher Reeve Superman would win in a fight against Homelander? It depends. Look at how Superman won in Superman 2. He won it by going by fighting not Zod, but Zod's ego.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, because Superman's smart, and so maybe
That's the thing. You have to think, what's he going to use, his brain or his brawn?
That's true.
Here,
Homelander doesn't have.
Homelander doesn't have the brains, but he's got the all brawn. So it makes you. I think if Homelander did an injustice thing and went after Lois, then Superman would snap. But everything else, like Superman's never going to cross that line because he is Superman.
And that's what The Boys is saying. The Boys is saying, what would happen if Superman was evil and insecure and controlled by a corporation? And because there is no Superman. Because theoretically, I mean, it's like you said, the writer. It's like, who would win, Superman or Goku? I don't fucking know.
Who's going to win up against
Yeah.
A-Train or
It's
the
gonna be
Flash?
Goku.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's a good question.
I'd say the Flash.
Yeah, I think the Flash always wins.
Yeah. Who?
Who'd you say?
A-Train
Flash?
in The Boys, who's the Flash's counterpart for DC.
I think Batman fucking
like we
wrecks
Black Noir?
Yeah, dude, he's gonna wreck
Oh,
Noir.
every time.
dude,
Yeah. I mean, you can't put Batman up against anybody,
No.
man. Batman always wins.
And Wonder Woman would fucking wipe the floor with Queen Maeve.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wonder
Just
Woman I want to read more of.
Diana.
Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
She kills, man.
New
Yeah.
52 Wonder Woman
Legitimately,
is
she murders people.
absolute
Yeah,
Wonder
I'm-
Woman is
I'm
very,
into
very
it.
good.
Yeah.
If anybody out there is looking for off the rack comics, absolute Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Kill the absolute Batman. Fucks like just what they're doing with the absolute
Kills,
stuff. Kills,
all of
fucks,
it.
marries. Absolute Superman marries Lois and does missionary sex. New Adventures of Superman is really good on HBO if you get a chance.
Who is
to.
Starlight the equivalent of?
Oh, well, that's a good point because what's her
Light?
Yeah, I was thinking.
Stars.
It's like
I was like Wanda.
Dagger. She's kind of like Dagger from Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah. Well, then they're gonna get it every time. Starlight doesn't even know what she wants
Yeah.
to do, and she's been also completely abused by the system, and I don't think would have a dog in the race to continue to have the passion necessary to keep up a fight.
And she's like, I mean, and that's also a testament to how much more powerful Homelander is than everyone else. Because Starlight's very powerful, and when Homelander kills like Supersonic, Starlight's like eyes start glowing, and Homelander just goes, "Stop! Put it away!"
Yeah, what are you doing?
Like,
Come on.
He's like, "Come on! You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna kill you."
Well, and then what? Well, you're gonna leak it, and then everyone's gonna find out who I am?
Yeah.
Cool. Then I get to be me.
Yeah, then I just get to burn the world.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's like, and I think the show is saying the only way to kill Homelander, maybe it's not, but the only way to kill Homelander is to have a guy who's got that same level of dog. And who is
And
that?
that's
Bill Butcher.
Oh yeah. So
Bill.
who's the non-powered Billy Butcher that you would say, like, because I was like, he was obviously Jimmy Olsen in many
I would
ways.
say he's Maxwell Lord. So Max, like
In Wonder Woman.
Well,
Or
yeah,
no, that was
he's in Wonder Woman too. But yeah, Maxwell Lord's whole thing is he gets powers because he's so paranoid about what would happen if the superheroes took over,
Right.
and so he basically tries to take them all out. Ted Kord finds out what he's doing. He brings Ted Kord in because he's not powered, but he kills him. That's a whole side note, but it's a great story. He's kind of like the quote
What
unquote
story is
good.
that?
That's Countdown to Infinite Crisis.
Countdown to Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
One of Brent's favorites.
It is. It's very
Every
good.
day it restarts.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Favorite superhero line: Batman has no limits. Or Marvel, I could do this all day.
Yeah, I could do this all day. It's great. Now I'm like thinking of just a movie line that I really like because of this one over here.
Oh, it's all my fault, is it?
Yeah, those would be mine too. If you had to pick, what would you say? If you had to give me your favorite, your top 5.
One that I really liked, even though I don't know why, maybe it's just the nostalgia, but I just love when Bruce is in Wayne Manor during his birthday and Batman Begins, and there's this just a nebbishy woman who's just like, Bruce, there's someone you must meet. Who's that? Mr. Ra's al Ghul. Ray, and Bruce immediately stops. He's like, "You're not
See the
Ra's al
Batman
Ghul."
mask? Come on.
Yeah. He goes. I watched him die, and then Liam Neeson comes in.
Theatricality and deceptions are very good tactics for the uninitiated.
He goes, "Is Ra's al Ghul immortal? Are his methods supernatural?" And he goes, "Or cheap parlor tricks to hide your real identity, Ra's."
Yeah, that is
Goosebumps every time.
I think their fight in Batman Begins is probably the most power for power fight. Like level. You want to talk realistic? Two guys who know everything about each other. Ra's taught Batman, so he knows all his next moves, and Batman has to sort of Bruce sort of sees, because the Batman and Bruce are two very different people. And in that movie, when he saves Ra's, that's sort of Batman beginning there.
Yeah.
Right? Like where Batman's not going to cross that line, and he saves him and he drags him across the...
And then he lets him die anyway.
And then yeah, I said realistic, not realistic.
But actually, that's another line. Another one in my top 5 would be the will to act. Like, your parents' death was not your fault. It was your father's. Another one from Infinity War when Thor comes down with Thanos with the hammer.
Yeah,
and he says, "I told you you'd die for that." And Thanos goes,
"Should have gone for the head."
Chills.
Watching that in theaters, I don't think I've ever had a comic book movie experience of despair the way I did then. Like when he snaps, and then you have following the snap, I think is that Gamora and Thanos scene where she goes, "Did you do it?" And he goes, "Yeah." "What did it cost?" "Everything." Oh my God. And then it just ends with half of them dead, and you're hoping for a post-credit scene where it's going to show them all trapped in a stone somewhere, but it doesn't. They're all just gone, and we know we're going to get a part 2, but that's the reason why Endgame was...
Shout out to you for not saying apartheid there.
Oh, which leads me to my next question. Will we ever get a new Blade movie?
Yeah.
Obviously, right? But
I mean, it's been greenlit.
What do you? Yeah. So, when I don't know when these questions were in.
It was Friday, but
now they're going to be happy to know.
Well, no, it's because the movie's been delayed so much, and then we saw Wesley Snipes. Like,
yeah. So, and he's obviously Blade forever, right?
Well, he was supposed to be Mahershala Ali.
Okay.
That was supposed to play Blade, and he just exited. That movie got announced in 2018. 2019.
Just do it with Wesley then.
Do it with Wesley. I think what they wanted to do was, I mean, the post-credit scene for Eternals had Wesley's voice, it had Mahershala Ali's voice as Blade speaking to Jon Snow with the
That's right.
with the sword,
because they were setting up Jon Snow.
Yeah, they were setting up Jon Snow's character for whoever he was going to be, and they were going to Eternals. Knight. Yeah, Eternals was going to be give it 3 movies, and then we might get a Midnight Suns. But to have Midnight Suns, you need to have all this stuff that I feel like is not like Blade. The way that we got Doctor Strange in this multiverse Spider-Man movie, post Endgame, we had this gap of, well, we're not going to do the Infinity Saga. What's next? The multiverse saga. The reason why I think Blade got cursed so much is because there wasn't that buildup, and you need to sort of have a Midnight Suns, Dracula restart, or at least saga Give us a bunch of Disney Plus shows. You know, Anthony Starr as Dracula, Mahershala as Blade, what's his name as whoever he was gonna, Jon Snow as his character, Black Knight. All those shows needed to exist, and that hype just didn't really exist for Blade to exist as his own character, juxtaposed to what we saw in Deadpool Wolverine. And I remember watching that Deadpool Wolverine scene where he goes, there's only been one Blade, and watching Ryan Reynolds look directly into the camera and go, he has too much pull at Marvel for that to just be a coincidence.
I know.
And I think that also just timed out perfectly with all the mess that's going on in Marvel.
He looks amazing.
He looks great, and
He looks
also
so
they could just, Blade's one of those characters you could just drop in.
Totally.
We've got the 3 movies with him. If they're going to bring Jackman back and he's going to be Wolverine, because we know we're not going to get a Wolverine recast now, then if we bring Jackman back, it's only fair to bring Wesley back. If that's the direction they're going to go in.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is more of just a tangent, but Venture Bros does one of the best versions of Blade ever. It's a character named Jefferson Twilight, and he only hunts black vampires.
What?
He's Tony Hinchcliffe.
He goes after
Oh my God,
he goes because he looks like Blade, but he only goes after Blackulas.
Stop
Oh my
it.
God. Dracula don't suck. Dracula scrape and lick. Remember Billy and Mandy?
Oh, dude, that Dracula
Dracula don't suck. Dracula scrape and lick.
I still got it.
I still got it. Dracula don't suck. Dracula scrape and lick. Red Fox standing by.
When they show what happened to the code that got picked ahead of him, he's in the Jigsaw dungeon.
No, that's a misconception. Dracula don't suck. Dracula scrape and lick.
That show was
Oh, that's
amazing.
gonna be in my
Billy man,
notes.
what is happening, Billy?
Why did they make the Grim Reaper Jamaican?
Racism. Why did they make Jar Jar Jamaican?
I don't know.
Me, son, no.
It was an executive decision.
You, sir, Georgia Lucas, that's executive. He's a bombad general of everything that happened to Lucasfilm. Now you, sir, have a day for loneliness, sir. He running things all over the Groguverse.
Grogu's the first.
Jabuka Tanmina. Sophia Giganti.
Yeah.
Although I was more of a fan of
Oh, he would be a good question.
Oh, Nick Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was fighting Noir.
Oh.
So I didn't
Yeah.
ever see that actually was announced, and I started seeing set photos last week, and I thought it was like a running joke online. Then I googled and found out he's actually playing Spidey
Well, Will
Noir.
shared it from our Instagram, and I thought that
Wait,
was like
yeah.
a joke too.
Yeah, Nick Cage is playing
Yeah.
Spidey Noir.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
What's your favorite
How did you
line?
guys not know? What?
What's your favorite line
What do you mean?
from Spidey Noir?
I
I like drinking egg creams and fighting
oh
Nazis.
my god.
Do you think Palpatine knew which stormtrooper was going to go get the Death Star plans? No, he's running an empire.
I'm just-
Stormtrooper!
Regional governors that have direct control over our Instagram posts. Clout will keep our local systems in
literally
line.
Who
learned it
can't
from-
post on Instagram? I can still post on Instagram. Does anybody know I'm here?
Fear leads to anger, and anger leads to never letting anyone else speak.
All my friends are dead. Do you have any corn shudder? We sure do. Do you think James Gunn would make a better New Gods than Marvel's Eternals? Yes.
Fuck no.
Dude, what you fuck no?
Kidding. I have no
Yeah.
opinion. I don't even know what that question is. To be honest.
good. It'll be amazing.
know.
And I could
Well,
play
James-
Mr. Miracle.
Well, who would be a good Mr. Miracle?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, dude, I
man.
would love to
That
see a
would
New
be
Gods film.
So would I.
Oh,
And
my
they were supposed to
God,
have that
yeah.
one. That
Avery
yeah. And I didn't know there was anything beyond New Gods other than Darkseid till we read Mr. Miracle. And that's another one where like you could do a New Gods show almost
With
before you-
Granny, baby.
With Granny Goodness. Who would be a good
no.
Granny?
Going places.
You know what I was thinking the
Granny's
other
gotta
day?
go.
I was
She
watching.
scares
Is
me.
Phyllis Diller still alive?
That's a
Stiller?
good question.
Better.
I don't know.
She'd be a good Granny.
You know what I was
Let's
thinking though?
see.
She's way too young, but I was watching the Star Wars sequels and I was like, in 10 years, Gwendolyn Christie be a good Granny Goodness.
Oh, yeah, dude, totally.
Brianna Tarth or any
Dude, she's kind of low-key hot.
I think she's high key
Yeah.
hot. Like Captain Phasma was wasted potential and could have been Boba Fett level cool.
You see her butt in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, one of the last episodes when she slept with.
Well, you see then, but then also when Jamie tells the story of
Oh,
when he
yeah.
killed the Mad King, she stands up in the hot tub, and I was like, let's fucking
Oh.
go.
One of my
yeah,
favorite
that
Game
was
of Thrones
good
jokes
steaming.
was what, like in the last episode when she's like writing the like story of Jamie Lannister, and somebody writes when Gwendolyn when Brianna Tarth is writing in the journal, and she goes, and Jamie Lannister said Brienne had the bombest pussy of anybody in all the Seven Kingdoms. I was like, yeah, that's funny as hell.
That is a great callback because of like when Joffrey was like, oh, look all they wrote for you, father.
Yeah, that was tight. Yeah. I do. James Gunn did. I'm trying to think. James Gunn. He did Guardians of the Galaxy. Did you see those?
Yeah.
And he's now the HNIC at DC. You think you can make a good New Gods?
I know. I know it.
HNIC. You know what that stands for?
Yes,
Head brother in charge.
I was literally, that's all I was thinking. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe he just said that. And I was like, does that mean what I think it means? Yeah, it definitely is.
Yes, it does.
All right, he's going to explain.
That's just how my father would refer to him.
Tony Hinchcliffe would have said it.
I could do this all day.
We know, Tony. We know you could do this all day. That was never in question, Tony. Blackest Night don't mean Jon Stewart Green Lantern. That's just part of the oath. OAF. That's what the Green Lanterns take, the oath.
Oh, weird.
Do you think Deadpool has become less of a character and driven more as a joke recently? That's a good question.
It's the whole Ryan Reynolds thing.
Well,
you know?
I mean, I'll say this.
He's just like that, though.
Yeah,
and he's so dedicated to the character. Sorry.
Well, because he of how close to the source material he plays the character as.
Yeah.
And I also have never really been able to read. Not saying that they're not enjoyable, but I've never really been able to read Deadpool comics because the jokes are coming as fast as they do in a show like 30 Rock or as they would in a movie like Deadpool, where it's so much more fun to watch the joke play out and to see the physical gag of it, to whereas I'm reading a book of Deadpool and it's like reading a David Sedaris book on coke. You know, like I'm like, oh my God, like how do I keep up with all these jokes? And it's the art's beautiful. I like Deadpool when he is a joke character like he was in Civil War.
Yeah.
Where he's going to fight the Great Lakes Avengers and then gets busted by...
When he's doing pure comedy with Bob, Agent of Hydra.
Yes, yeah. And I think that... I mean, what's the grittiness of his character? He's lost everything and he can regenerate his health, but he can't regenerate the factors in life that are already dead. What do you do with a character like that? You sort of make him out to be the jokey type, but not in a way like Spider-Man can't stand Deadpool, and Deadpool wants to be his friend so badly, and Spider-Man's like, get the fuck away from me, Wade. I want nothing to do with you. I almost feel like you need to, his essence now has sort of blossomed into what the character always should have been, which is a guy who, the first two Deadpool movies have nothing to do with the third one. You're missing most of the characters in those first two movies. And the third one sort of shows you Deadpool's strength, and his strength is being around other characters. And I know there's a lot of people who love Wade and think that he's great. I don't know. I just never really I understand who his character is, but I like to see him more as the jokey aspect and levity, because even that scene in Deadpool Wolverine, the one time he's not jokey is when Wolverine fucking clocks him in the car verbally.
And he's like about his wife, yeah.
Yeah, and like that's the one time he's not jokey, and I go, wow, well that's beautiful, because he doesn't have anything to quip or retort, and you're plugged in and being like, say something, Wade, say something, and then the joke become the song that they're fighting to.
Oh yeah,
I love that. I don't think that I would have cared.
Yeah, you know, I like that song a lot.
Yeah, like two dudes in a car.
You know you do.
Dude, that's how it should have been.
What's your take on that? Do you think his character is him being so jokey has ruined his character? I think it enhances it.
I agree. I think it
he
absolutely
embraced
enhances
it.
Yeah, I mean, well, do you know what Liefeld said? He said the Deadpool movie is the perfect adaptation of Deadpool. This is the medium where Deadpool should exist. And who's Rob Liefeld? The guy
creator
who
of
fucking
Deadpool.
created Deadpool.
Not his feet, but all the rest of him.
That's the ultimate fucking compliment.
Yeah.
Is there other scenarios of that? Like people who created the character actually like are proud of how it was translated on screen?
Yeah, I mean, Stan,
that was the closest I could think of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stan loved Downey Jr.
Love Tom Holland.
Well, yeah.
Tom Holland, yeah.
Downey can do no wrong.
Downey
honestly.
also was different in the sense that like we'd already gotten, I guess by the time Downey played Iron Man, we'd only had the Tobey Maguire movies, right? Those were the only live action Spider-Man movies we had.
Yeah.
But I mean, we also had two shows in the 90s,
and the Japanese show.
and the Japanese show, the live action.
Forget that.
Well, Spider-Man's got Glocks. He shoots guns in that movie. Fuck Uncle Ben
That is
and
wild.
the shooters. He shoots guns in Japanese Spider-Man. Domo, boom, boom, pew, pew, pew. I think that Downey's Iron Man was so special because it was Iron Man. the show in the 90s, if you never got a chance to watch it, where Uncle Phil plays War Machine, and the intro where he suits up is so great. That's really the only time we ever got like a live action Tony Stark, Marvel Ultimate Alliance predecessed.
Uncle Phil plays War Machine?
James Avery plays War Machine in those. You never watched the 90s Iron Man show?
How does he fit into the suit?
It's so good. He voices it.
Oh, he voices it.
It's a cartoon.
Oh, okay.
It's the same era of like the Silver Surfer show.
You pictured him actually.
Yeah.
You're like, what
James,
the
we'd
fuck?
just like you to do the
casting
voice of Darth
director
Vader.
fucked up that day.
First thing first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Do y'all think that the Joker is an overdone villain in Batman media?
That's a good question.
Yes.
Definitely.
I think our time for the Joker has passed, or at least we've had so many.
Break.
Go on.
And I love him.
We remember
all the times you
we're so
blew up
serious,
As our lives change,
but my skin did.
we will still be
Cloud Joker.
forever. That's good. Clown.
I think the shows like The Penguin have shown us, we don't really need. I mean, is the Joker the perfect antithesis for Batman? Yes, but that's not the only antithesis,
You don't
right?
want to ruin it either by just oversaturating
Every
it.
That was
time
the
they
worst part of the Batman movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was he in the theatrical cut?
Yeah, that's what sucked about it. They cut out like that other scene with him and Batman, but they still had
Okay,
him
that's
with
what I was
Riddler.
thinking of. Yeah, he's still at the first one. Yeah, where he goes to him to try to figure out.
Thank God they cut that out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you don't. I mean, it makes sense as to why we would get the Joker post Dark Knight, right? Like that was everything would be like, yes, everything needs to be the Joker. You could tell who Batman's character is without just having the Joker, and also they're just trying to re-encapsulate that magic we all felt in 2008 when it came out.
Yeah.
To whereas
It's hard to do with any.
you can't do it because Heath Ledger's Joker almost ruined Joker performances. Every other Joker since Heath Ledger has been either a tribute to him or a comparison to him. And when you get the
It was
comparison,
transcendent.
he was transcendent, and he was also just the perfect villain for that. For he could only exist in the Nolan verse. And could that Joker exist as Batman's foil? Yes, but like it works so perfectly there.
He's the second best Joker, which is the best part.
Yeah, man. Hamill's still
Hamill,
number one.
baby.
Me Cosa Nostra, su Cosa Nostra, Batman.
Heath Ledger's. I think you showed me that book where it's like pieces of his
diary?
journal. Yeah, his diary. I was trying to make him sound like a man. His journal.
Why so
Whatever.
gender conforming?
But like prepping for the role and like as he was shooting it,
Dear
and,
God.
like, you hear all the.
It's
me,
me,
the
Margaret.
Joker.
My body is going through
Stan.
changes. Dear Stan, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
Well, who would you say other
I
than
understand.
who should they? Who would come second to the Joker that they should plug in as they do the Joker?
Well, that's the great thing about Batman is he truly has the best rogues gallery in comic books. Penguin is near the bottom of my Batman villains, and this show fucking fucks, man.
This show
Colin Farrell's
elevated this
just
version of the
unbelievable.
Penguin, not the character as a whole, but like I'm like, this is how the Penguin, almost like what the Joker was, or Heath Ledger was to the Joker. Colin Farrell is to the Penguin. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is how the character should be played every single
I wonder
time.
what was his like inspiration.
Tony Soprano.
Yeah, well, yeah. yeah,
Riddler
for
was
sure.
amazing. I mean, we've gotten a good Ra's al Ghul. Let's give us a good Mr. Freeze. Let's.
Now
Yeah,
that's who
we've
I want
said-
next,
yeah,
man. More
we've
than
said
anything
that
else.
multiple times.
Give me
I
Victor
mean, you
Freeze.
guys
Yeah, we
And
even
I
got a
agree.
good Black Mask in Birds of Prey.
And Birds of Prey with you, Obi-Wan McGregor.
Obi-Wan
Yeah.
McGregor.
Hello there.
with his little mole.
Of course I know him. He's McGregor.
Mole.
With his little mo.
I love him.
Yeah, me
He's
too.
great.
Yeah, give us Court of Owls.
been around a
Court of
long
Owls.
time.
Yeah, Hush. I mean, there are so many good.
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't get enough credit.
Hush, starring Paula Abdul. Hush, hush. But as a,
It's just a little hush. That's not her, but
opposites attract. Straight up, now tell me, do you really want to be Bat forever? How? Am I just a Bat Boy Run?
Yes.
Catwoman.
Catwoman. Listen, we have hundreds of more questions that we got to peel into. If you want to see more of answer more of these, subscribe to us at the Kirby tier level, and we're going into every single one of these questions. And every single episode we will have. Now we've got to the point where we've hit it and we're like, oh, there's our episode time. Well, boys and girls, it was lots of fun, true believers. But now we've got to close up the show unless you subscribe to the Kirby tier, and then you can see us dive into a little bit more. But until then, anything else I'm leaving off?
No, that was perfect. For those of you listening on Spotify and Apple, sorry, it's going to be on YouTube, but incentive for you to watch.
Yeah, that's true. Watching is always better than listening.
As Helen Keller never said.
That was a weird quote. I'm like, my mama told me.
Watching's better than listening. Don't
You
look.
just look.
She
You
couldn't do
learn
either,
from
right?
looking.
How did her parents punish her? By putting a plunger in the turlet.